Treasurer Meier, you're joining us in Denver for a panel on portfolio construction and how to find the best opportunities this year. Many are calling this a new investment era unlike anything we've seen before. As a state treasurer of Wyoming, can you give us a sneak peek into what you're planning to bring to that conversation?
Well, I think that we're going to, talk about our sovereign wealth fund here and our other funds a bit. We're roughly 34 billion in assets under management, and we've last 7 years, essentially, 6 of those going on 7, we've beaten our benchmark. So we've got a great group of people, and we have some outstanding advisors in our investment funds committee, and essentially we're a team. I haven't worked a day in my life since I got this job because it's just so fun, meeting the challenges and having the opportunity to serve the people of Wyoming.
I love to hear that. Now, Treasurer Meier, you're overseeing state finances at a time when the traditional 60-40 portfolio construct is being fundamentally challenged. Where do you think investors are missing the biggest opportunities right now?
Well, I think it's in flexibility. We set up a few years ago when we saw the interest rates were going to go down. We had a portfolio structure that was really constrictive. We had to have at least 30% fixed income and everything else considered equity. So what we did was we went to a 70-30 reference portfolio. So the risk associated with that is a little over 12.2 to 12.5 on that. And essentially it freed us up to get out of fixed income and get into floating rate mechanisms at that time. So I think the being nimble, I think, is always, very, very important in looking at what opportunities lay ahead of you and be able to take advantage of them. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the opportunities. And this is an exciting time with President Trump on what he's done and onboarding manufacturing. We're going to look at what we can do in our state and the benefits that we have here, to basically make his dream come true and ours also.
Fantastic. I love to hear that. We're so excited to have you speak at our event, Treasurer Meier. What are you personally looking forward to when coming to the forum?
You know, I, I love getting to forums and listening to, you know, some of the most intelligent people in the world in investing, you know, and not only from my side, but from the vendor side, understanding where they think things are going and looking at the opportunities. I know we had a brief discussion with the panelists, and there's a lot of things that we are, pretty much agreement in that these are areas where, like in the different small caps in different areas. And I think the expansion of the breadth of the market and the ability to make earnings now in this environment is going to allow us, to actually, you know, change different areas in our asset allocation and move them overweight different areas to actually look at this as one of the most exciting times in investing, especially maybe not between now and July 1, but I believe the second part of this year is going to be something that we haven't experienced in growth since the 50s.
Fantastic. Well, I'd love to check in with you in the second half of the year and check in on how that's going.
Certainly. Well, I got to talk to about one little thing that's really exciting. Our School of Energy Resources, I talked to them about an idea I've had for several years. In Wyoming, we have this huge underground saline thing that's associated a lot with minerals, as far as you have this pool there, and it has lithium in it at a low concentration. So what we want to do is put a coal-fired power plant there. And when you sequestration the gas out of a coal-fired power plant, about 25% of the power that plant actually generates is in the sequestration. So we think that we can look at the energy budget of putting it in this underground saline lithium deposit, and essentially at the same time taking that out, to reduce that savings in power that we can actually use in refining the lithium. And so we're going to look at, essentially, you get thousands of pounds of pressure and heat under there. So I talked to one of our head researchers at the university, and we're going to look at, essentially, got an underground Fischer-Tropsch cauldron. and you're going to be able to maybe modify that and try to get something that the float the lithium to the top underground and in situ mine it. And we're doing that in a gold process, essentially on a gold mine that we have, where they pulverize the ore and then they add an additive, and it basically bonds to the gold and floats it to the top of the vat, so you can just skim it off. And so we're going to look at this and see whether or not we can actually use something like that underground to actually do lithium mining in an in situ basis, but essentially do the chemical processes in situ. And this is going to be, if we get that secret sauce just right, it is going to open up lithium deposits across every place where you've got oil, you know, and it's going to be like we've just hit the mother lode. And so we're really exciting about, can we do the science? Is it available? You know, what do we have to do? You know, I know the pressures are there. I know the temperatures are there. And so we've got our top people at School of Energy Resources, you know, trying to put together, you know, something that that we can actually move forward on. And so that's something that I'm just like, wow, it would be a game changer.
That is brilliant. That's really exciting to hear. I'm so excited to see what happens next for Wyoming. They're lucky to have you as the state treasurer.
Well, thank you on that. We just this year we were the #1 source of revenue for the state in their budget.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with me today, Treasurer Meier. We look forward to seeing you in Denver.